This is me.
Just kidding, this is me. Hello, my name is Amanda and welcome to my channel, Always Popular, where I will be talking about pop culture, music, film, drama, and fan videos. Hello and welcome back to my channel, Always Popular. I'm Amanda, your host, and let's get into this week's episode. During the early 2000s was the period of time of tabloids and cameras everywhere. From pop stars to airheads to movie actresses, there were many people living under a microscope back then. Around the time of 2004 to 2007, social media personalities like Paris Hilton and movie actresses like Lindsay Lohan were the center of the drama hub. In this episode, we are not going to reminisce on the downward spiral of Lindsay Lohan. However, some of that stuff will be mentioned. We are celebrating her recovery story. This is on Lindsay Lohan, the redemption story. Lindsay Lohan, an American actress who many fell in love with during the early 2000s, and when she was just a tween in her debut iconic film, the 1998 version of The Parent Trap. She was a fun-loving little girl with a good onstage charisma and personality. So good that she beat out 4,000 other little girls for that specific role. The American actress and singer who had a handful of successful movies in the early 2000s like Disney's Get a Clue, Freaky Friday, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Herbie Fully Loaded, and of course, Mean Girls. With the cult classic movie Mean Girls that is now officially 20 years old and is still thriving, this movie affirmed Lindsay as a teen idol and established her as a Hollywood movie actress by the time of 2004. It was truly her breakthrough year. Around the time of the success of Mean Girls, Lindsay and a few Hollywood teen stars were becoming the subject of tabloid media and gossip sites. These other girls around that time were Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, and Britney Spears. Paparazzi were following all of them around constantly. They were photographed together or hanging out with each other. So here's a quick summary on these girls. Paris and Nicole were best friends back then and had a reality show together called The Simple Life. Lindsay was hanging out with her good friend Britney. All four of these girls have their own drama timeline, but that could be for another episode. However, I believe some of that drama back then in Lindsay's life contributed to her future problems. Apparently, when Paris was in her young 20s, she wanted to hang out with teenage Lindsay. She wanted to show her the ropes and the party lifestyle. With that came the real price of young Hollywood and fame. Though Lindsay's career downfall was due to more like the pressures of fame, I would have to imply and say she hung out with the wrong crowd. I feel like people like Paris seem to have a negative influence on her. With constant partying and drinking, I feel like no one told her to slow down or to stop. Because of that, that's where I feel like Lindsay's drinking problem started. Lindsay Lohan's career was about to be on a downward spiral, with a history of drunk driving, going to rehab, and alcohol problems. Problems were highlighted in the media many times. It all started with one drunk driving night. The many problems of Lindsay's were constantly talked about and her life became a nightmare. The spiral was happening over the course of summer 2007 and has continued on for many years throughout until the end of the 2000s. Unfortunately for Lindsay, the legal troubles and drug addiction were overshadowing her career back then at the time and continued to overshadow her career throughout the 2000s. She appeared in a bunch of unsuccessful movies throughout the 2010s like Scary Movie 5, Inappropriate Comedy, and The Canyons. All these movies were rated and received very poorly. However, soon after, in 2014, she took time for herself and moved away from Hollywood to live a normal life and fled to another country with her boyfriend. She has been recovering in privacy since then, and since the mid-2010s, she gave birth to her only son in 2023. In an interview in 2018, she recalled saying, "Moving here was a fresh start. You hear more about real, current events than celebrity gossip, which I really appreciate." She also added, "There's a certain calmness that I find in Dubai. No paparazzi, no cameras. That's a big deal for me." She has found peace within herself, avoided bad influences, been sober for years, and is doing better than ever before. Since 2014, she has basically disappeared for 10 years from the entertainment world, but to be honest, she definitely probably really needed it. Even though her new movies are getting mixed reviews, her fans like me are excited to see her back on screen. I was generally surprised to see her back on screen as well. In 2022 came the exciting news that Lindsay got signed to do a film deal with Netflix. After seeing her performance in Falling for Christmas in 2022, the movie did well enough for her to get a film deal. The other Netflix movies she's been in are The Irish Wish and Our Little Secret. In addition, get ready to get nostalgic because it's been noted that a sequel to Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis is currently in post-production, and the movie is set to be in theaters next year. Are you excited for more Lindsay projects to come? What's your favorite Lindsay Lohan movie? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for listening and watching, and you'll hear me in the next episode.